That's what we're looking for right there. I'd say I've probably got about 15, 16 inches of medium here.
You look up at the sky and you can see that weather that's coming in.
Well, folks, we're about to have a really crazy weather shift. We've already had some pretty bizarre weather here in Zone 5, Wisconsin already. I mean, it's the middle of November and today's about 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It is hot for this time of year. But tonight, the temperatures are supposed to drop as low as about 29 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're not supposed to see temperatures above 35 or 36 degrees Fahrenheit for the weeks to come. So I think this is really the last of those warm days here. And I want to take advantage of the last couple of hours before the wind starts really picking up. We're supposed to get maybe 40, 50 mile an hour gusts of winds tonight and rain. Before all that happens, I've got a couple of hours here, a little window where I can get some of the work done that I still need to get done out here. And I'm going to start by taking an advantage of something that we have here on our property, and a lot of you do too. Well, here's what I'm talking about. These are just some of the leaves from our plum tree and from our peach tree over there. Now, we don't actually have nearly as many of these leaves as we had when we had our ash tree out here before the ash borer came along, but I want to gather up all the leaves that we have on our property, and I want to add all those leaves to our Ruth Stout or other areas of our garden to compost them. Leaves are great organic material to add into composting, and our Ruth Stout is breaking down really nicely. The hay that we have in there is really great. But I want to add these in. I mean, this is just a nice natural way to get some additional medium in there, some great organic matter. And while a lot of times I see people bagging up their leaves, we can take advantage of this. We're not going to get rid of them. We're not going to send those away from us. We've got plenty of leaves. We don't spray anything on our property, so we know there's nothing in here that's really going to be a problem. We don't have any black walnut leaves, so there's no juglone or anything like that. No, we're just going to gather this up everywhere I can on the property really quickly. I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to go grab some of what our quail have been producing as well. You know, for not having much in the way of trees, that's a nice little pile that's going to go on our Ruth Stout. Now let me show you the Ruth Stout before I start adding layers here. At the beginning of the growing season, this hay is usually about a foot thick. Right now, it's maybe 5 or 6 inches because this stuff really breaks down. So what I'm gonna do, look at that, doesn't that look great? I'm gonna add some of our quail waste first, then some of those leaves, and then on top of that, I'm gonna add some more hay. Now, we did a video where we talked about 13 things you need to know if you're gonna raise quail, and one of the things we talked about was the amount of waste that the quails create. You can see all of these black garbage containers behind me. Those are filled with their waste. And now some of these have been sitting in there for a couple of months, so they're starting to break down. Like what we have in this bin. This is the oldest quail waste right here. This has been in here for about 5 months, maybe 6 months. You can see it's starting to break down, but it's got lots of work left to do. Now, this is a hot compost, which means we do have to compost before we put it on our garden. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this stuff, since it's the oldest, and I'm gonna create a nice layer over top of that hay. And then it's gonna have all winter long to continue that composting process. Look at what we got farther down in here. This is almost toward the bottom. You can see how this is breaking down, composting already. You see that? Everything's kind of farther along the farther down I get in this container. That's what we're looking for right there. I'm just going to create a nice layer here. Really, that's my goal. A layer of the waste. Then we come back through with our leaves. We're just adding some great organic material. That's all we're trying to do. This is still going to be a no-dig Ruth Stout bed. I mean, she added all different kinds of things, from ground up corn stalks, grass. She just found that hay seemed to work the best. Well, I think we're souping this up really nicely. All right, that's what our bed looks like with our layer of quail waste on it. Let's go get those leaves. You know, if these were bigger leaves, I'd probably mow over them, try to chop them down a little bit, but they're kind of on the smaller side. So we're just gonna go with what we got because I don't think they'll get too matted down.
Hey, while I'm out here, take a look at these beauties. These are our mums. Talk about hardy mums. This is the 3rd year they've survived in ground. And the same for these right beside them. They die back every year, but these two have made it their habit of coming right back for us. Aren't they beautiful?
You know, I should note, this is just how we're setting up our Ruth Stout bed for next season. In the past, it's just been hay. The addition of both the quail manure and the leaves is brand new for us, so in a way, this is kind of an experiment here with our Ruth Stout bed, but I have no doubt that this is actually going to be beneficial to the bed. We've definitely put leaves in our compost and other areas, and while it doesn't add a high level of NPK, it does allow for a lot of that organic material to be added to the soil. It improves soil tilth, etc. So why not here in our Ruth Stout bed? And on top of that, the quail manure is something that we've added to other beds already as well. And those beds performed quite nicely, especially the ones right up against our house where we added a couple of inches earlier in the season. So we're thinking, again, experimentally, but this seems to be a great addition to this Ruth Stout bed. If you're somebody who's never tried growing in a Ruth Stout method, it's super easy. We've had some fantastic results growing potatoes especially, but now's the time. Get out there. You're gonna see me lay the hay here in a second once I finish spreading all these leaves, but now's the time to get a hold of that hay. Get it out there, get it laid out. Let that process of decomposing start. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Whew. All right, a little bit more work to do. Well, 2 layers down. Now I'm gonna go get the hay. Tell you something, it feels a little strange out here. You can kind of feel that some kind of really bad weather is coming our way. All right, let's go get that hay. Well, these are the hay bales that I'm using. This is the spoiled hay. We grew some sweet potatoes in it this year. You can see what it looks like. There's a little bit of soil mixed in there with it, but this is what we're gonna add to the top of our bed. Now we know we're gonna have a good bit of rain coming, so first of all, I'm gonna separate this out nicely because I don't wanna be too matted, but I am gonna have to water this down because I don't want this stuff blowing everywhere. That's the last thing we need. It's not gonna help us.
Well, take a look at the difference in this bed now. I'd say I've probably got about 15, 16 inches of medium here. Goes the whole way down. Now I've added a whole bunch of height to that. There you go. You can see it a little bit better this way maybe. So this is what we're gonna go into the winter with instead of having that 4 or 5 inches. This is all gonna continue breaking down all winter long, and we're gonna be in great shape, I think, come the spring. Here comes the wind. Let me use up some of my rain barrel water here since it's gonna be freezing. I don't usually water it this way, but I think we're in good enough shape that we can do this. These rain barrels have lasted longer this year outdoors than they have ever lasted in any season that I remember. I just finished watering and I am literally moving as fast as I can because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get hit by this rain, this whatever is coming our way. So let me show you what the end product looks like as we head into winter with our Ruth Stout bed. There it is. I don't think it's gonna blow away, but we've got probably 12, 14 inches of our nice material in here. Some great layering, some great organic material.
Now when we come back in the spring, we'll add some more hay to it because it will have sunk down even more. But that's just part of the process of growing in a Ruth Stout bed. I've got so much more to take care of out here, but I hope you enjoyed that little garden prep video here that we did today for a Ruth Stout bed. You know, again, the best time to start a Ruth Stout bed is yesterday. So if you have access to some old hay, some spoiled hay, get it laid out wherever you want it. And you have a spot available to experiment around a little bit. You know, originally this was just a grassy area. All you have to do, throw some hay down there, and then next season, we'll get started growing some more. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.